Hi, this is Marnie Carter. As you may have heard in my introduction, we were talking about technology and how it has affected the way attorneys are practicing law. Not only is it affecting our lawyers, but it's also affecting other segments of the market where we are finding that we are relying upon others within the industry to help us do our job as legal professionals. And so some of the information that I want to share with you this week is why this has come about and what we're doing to navigate through it. So we are finding that, of course, we are corresponding with individuals more utilizing email. We are sending documents electronically. So gone are the days in which we operated in this paper environment in which we may have inter-office mailed something to someone or stuck it in a snail mail. And so now, of course, as a result of all this electronic material being generated and created, we are faced in the legal profession in finding a way to organize and sort this data, make determinations as to what is going to be produced, figuring out how we're going to process the data, look at elements such as privilege, and then getting ready for production, thinking about how we're going to present this evidence in a courtroom or before a fact finder. So for our first segment here today, I wanted to talk about this new source of evidence, electronic evidence. Case law is starting to embrace the realities of the digital age. We are looking at, as legal professionals, more and more what these segments of these digital documents means. So maybe you've heard something called metadata. What does that mean? Some people will tell you it's data about data. And yes, although that sounds great, let's drill down on that a little bit more. What the metadata is, probably the best analogy is when you open a file and you look at the properties of a document, it gives you certain field characteristics in terms of the author, the date a document was created, when it was edited, who last accessed it. And when you're utilizing metadata, metadata actually takes those fields and properties of information much further, up to 16 fields that you don't necessarily see on its face, but we have individuals that work in forensics that assist us as legal professionals in determining some of these features of the metadata. Most importantly, it's important to know that each electronic file has what's called a hash value associated with it, which makes every single email unique, even if it's one within a chain, and makes every version of an electronic document unique, which can be very important when you are looking, for instance, at when a contract was drafted or when someone signed off on it and what digital version did they review. So in looking at these characteristics, we also as legal professionals have to be careful that when clients are sending material to us, that we are not doing something called spoliation of this data. Spoliation is similar to when you take a paper document, and let's say you had a paper document original and you just wrote all over it. Well, then you would be spoliating that paper document. In the digital age that we're now operating in with electronic evidence, we have the same issue, but it comes up when you open a document. If a client forwards you a bunch of emails and you open every single one of those emails, you actually spoliate the metadata. So in our next video blog and over the coming weeks, we will discuss some of the tips and tricks to avoid spoliating our evidence and looking at how we can utilize it in terms of going forward in our case.